secret has just been revealed, and it changes everything. One quiet afternoon, Truong's mother discovered that nu-Tieu is pregnant. That child carries Truong's blood, her beloved son, who has been missing for months. Now staring at the ultrasound, where a tiny heartbeat flickers, she doesn't know whether to smile or cry. Truong, where are you when the woman you promised to protect is carrying this burden all alone? Why did you disappear right when she needed you the most? This is a story about love waiting and promises left unfinished. Stay until the end of the video to find out, is Truong still alive? And will he return before the baby is born? Don't forget to like and subscribe to see the next heartbreaking chapter. Early in the morning, mist still covered the cucumber rows. nu-Tieu wore an old cloth jacket, her calloused hands gently lifting each dew-covered cucumber and placing it into a bamboo basket beside her. Every time she bent down, her long hair brushed against the cool drops of mist, wet like a memory that refused to fade. The field was quiet, filled only with the hum of cicadas and the soft whisper of wind through the bamboo, like the sigh of the earth itself. Since Truong went missing, her days had stretched on silent and endless, like a road with no destination. At night, she often woke suddenly thinking she heard familiar footsteps outside the porch. The 3 soft knocks, his old signal, every time he came home from a long trip. But when she opened the door, there was only darkness and the sound of crickets. She told herself she had to stay strong, because inside her was a tiny heartbeat, the child of Truong, the only piece of love she still believed would continue. When the basket was full, nu-Tieu tied up the cloth corners, lifted the pole onto her shoulder, and started walking toward the market. The dirt path curved between 2 green fields, still damp with morning dew. The first sunlight filtered through the trees, sparkling on droplets like tiny diamonds. Each step was heavy, yet something deep inside her glowed with quiet patience, the kind of strength only those who wait can truly understand. At the market, she found a small corner near the vegetable stalls, spread out a thin mat, and neatly arranged her cucumbers. Her voice was soft-tired, but warm, as she called out, "Fresh cucumbers here picked just this morning." People passed by, glancing at the young woman with mixed pity and respect. Someone whispered, "That poor girl. She works so hard, and her husband's been gone for so long." nu-Tieu only smiled, a gentle, heartbreaking smile, amid the busy sounds of the market vendors, shouting children calling for their mothers, carts clattering. Her heart sank again. She missed Truong, his kind eyes, and his clumsy promise. "I'll build us a small house with a porch so we can sit together every evening and watch the sunset." Now there was only her, the basket of cucumbers, and her shadow stretching long across the dusty ground. By noon, the market quieted down. She carried the few remaining cucumbers and started walking home. The road was empty. The wind had dried the soil, and golden dust rose with each step. At the old tree at the edge of the village, nu-Tieu stopped, set the basket down, and sat to rest. Leaning against the trunk, she placed her hand on her belly, where a small heartbeat grew stronger each day. "My child," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Your father will come back. He just hasn't found his way yet." No one answered, only the hum of cicadas and the warm wind carrying the scent of the fields. A tear slipped down her cheek, salty with longing. She quickly wiped it away, adjusted the basket strap, and stood up. The road ahead was long, but her steps were steady. In her tired eyes still shimmered a quiet faith that somewhere out there Truong was also finding his way home. The sun leaned westward, casting golden light over the green cucumbers, glistening like the morning dew that had started it all. The silhouette of the small, pregnant woman stretched across the dusty path, not fragile anymore, but strong, steady, and full of love. And at the end of that road, where the wind rustled through the bamboo, it almost sounded like a familiar voice, whispering through the afternoon light, "I'll be back. Just wait for me." The midday sun blanketed the village road in golden light, heat rising from the ground like a thin veil of smoke. Thieu Nu was just coming back from the fields, a bamboo basket full of fresh green cucumbers on her shoulder. Sweat dotted her forehead, and her shirt clung to her back. She stopped by the fence, wiped her face with her sleeve, and looked up at the end of the lane. A familiar figure was walking toward her. "Ma'am, you came all the way here." Her voice trembled slightly, a mix of surprise and joy. The older woman smiled gently, her eyes kind, but firm. "Yes, I just arrived. You're coming back from work?" "Yes, ma'am. I was out picking cucumbers. I just finished and was heading home to cook lunch." "That's good. Leave those for now. I want you to come with me for a bit." Thieu Nu hesitated. "Where are we going?" "I'm taking you to the clinic. I heard..." "You're expecting, aren't you?" The air went still. Thieu Nu lowered her head, clutching the hem of her shirt. A soft breeze carried the scent of young rice from the fields nearby. "Yes. I was planning to tell you when you came, but..." "It's all right, dear," the woman interrupted softly, her tone firm but warm. "You're young, I understand. But something like this can't stay hidden forever. You're carrying Truong's child, and I can't just stand by." At the mention of his name, Thieu Nu's heart tightened. Since Truong went missing, she had only known work and waiting. Now hearing his mother, once so strict and distant, speak with such tenderness, tears welled up in her eyes. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to hide it. I was just afraid." "Afraid of what?" "As long as I'm here, I'll look after you and the baby. If Truong knew you were pregnant, he'd be overjoyed." The woman gently took the basket from her shoulder and set it by the porch. "This is heavy. You shouldn't be carrying this around. Come on, let me take you to get checked. It'll ease everyone's mind." Thieu Nu hesitated. "But I feel fine, really." "Even if you feel fine, you still need to go, my dear. You're not just one person anymore. You're two." Hearing that, she could only nod, her eyes red and glistening. The woman took her hand, her grip thin but steady. "Come on, my girl," she said softly. "Let's go. Think of this as me standing in for Truong today, taking you and the baby to the doctor." The woman's car was parked outside the lane. The breeze lifted the edge of Thieu Nu's brown tunic, carrying the scent of earth and fields. She climbed into the car, glancing back at her small house and the basket still sitting by the porch. The engine started. The car slowly turned down the curved dirt road, leaving behind the warm dust and the hum of cicadas in the midday sun. Inside, the woman placed a gentle hand on Thieu Nu's shoulder. "Don't worry, all right. You have me now." Even if Truong hasn't come home yet, I already see you as my daughter-in-law and that baby as part of this family. Nu pressed her lips together, tears falling silently. Outside, sunlight filtered through the trees, lighting the road ahead, a road that marked not just the start of a new life, but the quiet, enduring hope still burning in both their hearts. The clinic room was bright and white, carrying a faint scent of disinfectant in the air. Nu sat on the chair, her hands clasped tightly together, slightly trembling. Truong's mother sat beside her, watching every small movement, her eyes full of both worry and affection. When the doctor walked in, Nu quickly stood up and bowed slightly. "Good afternoon, doctor. Please, could you take a look at me?" Her voice was soft and hesitant. The doctor, a kind woman in her 40s, smiled and motioned for her to sit. "Your periods were still regular a few months ago, right?" "Yes, they were," Nu replied quietly. The doctor nodded while checking her notes. "All right, the baby is about 11 weeks along now." Those words made Nu's heart skip a beat. 11 weeks, just over 2 months, since the day Truong disappeared. She didn't dare look at his mother, but inside her, a wave of emotion rose so strongly it almost hurt. "The baby's growing." Well, the doctor continued gently. "No problems at all." "Have you been feeling any pain or fatigue?" "No, doctor." "That's good. Just make sure to eat well and take your iron and zinc supplements. Follow the dosage on this prescription." "Thank you, doctor." Truong's mother nodded repeatedly beside her, turning every now and then to remind her, "You hear that, dear? Eat more and don't do heavy work anymore." The doctor smiled at the older woman. "The first trimester can be tiring. It's best she avoids heavy labor. Having family support makes a big difference." Nu replied softly, "Yes, I'll be careful. Thank you." When the ultrasound was done, the doctor turned the screen toward them and pointed. "Here, that's your baby." The heartbeat strong and steady. Nu held her breath, staring at the small flickering light on the screen. A tear rolled down her cheek, a tear of relief and joy. Truong's mother sat quietly beside her eyes, moist, gently squeezing Nu's hand. No words were needed. The doctor smiled kindly, her voice like a blessing. "As long as both mother and baby are healthy, that's all that matters. Keep your spirits up, everything will be fine." When they stepped out of the clinic, sunlight flooded the hallway. Nu carefully adjusted her bag, walking slower, now that her belly felt a little heavier. Truong's mother followed close behind, resting a hand on her shoulder. "See, the baby's healthy. You should be happy now, don't worry about anything. I'll take care of you for Truong." The afternoon light fell gently like a soft ribbon over the village road. Nu walked slowly under the golden glow, one hand resting on her belly, where a tiny life was quietly moving. Truong's mother walked beside her, glancing over with a look mixed with joy and concern. The doctor had said the baby was perfectly healthy, but in Nu's heart, that happiness still carried a crack, the absence of the man who hadn't yet returned. Whenever the wind passed by, she would look toward the distant road, the same road where Truong once walked away. She didn't know where he was now, if he was still alive. or if he knew that a part of him was growing inside her each day. Truong's mother gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "He'll come back, dear." When someone still carries love in their heart, they'll always find their way home. Nu-Tieu smiled through her tears as the sun dipped low. In the distance, a faint train whistle echoed through the hazy light like a fragile sign whispering that maybe someone was already on their way back